What's going on, guys? Just sending out. Boop. The notification, and we are good. What's going on, Angel? How we doing today? Happy Friday, everybody. Let's see where we are. Boop. Thank you, login rewards. Thank you, aim-tastic aim-taculars. What's up, John? Where's aim character? Where'd you go? A new unlock has arrived. Just take a quick look through the roster. Could be Monday. That is true. As we all know, Mondays suck. Not much has changed as far as what I've done this week. Shy of, you know, unlocking more mediocre characters, you know, getting some investment in a handful. Like, I've been working a little bit on mercs, obviously. Whenever they do an event, I think I mentioned this last week, where there's like a double drop for somebody, I will go a little bit more out of my way to make sure I farm those characters. I could care less about Merc Sniper, but like, Bullseye, I'm kidding, aim without even farming. That's what I've been saying for a long time. Like, I will do this during double drops because, one, I'm never gonna farm them normally. So the chance of getting a couple more shards here or there are a little bit better. Plus, it helps. Eventually, I'm gonna be utilizing some of these characters, so it's not the biggest worst. Like, if I'm normally getting 0 shards from farming them anyway, I'm not gonna mind particularly. You know, now Korath is one I can kind of skip. Killmonger will be a priority. Taskmaster will be a priority, just not now. Merc Lieutenant and Merc Riot Guard are priorities, and of course Deadpool is a priority. Should you work on Ultron? You can get him to gear tier 12, maybe even 13, but like 12 is the, generally speaking, get him to 12 because he's a great character. He will help you, but you really don't want to spend too many orange gear resources on characters you don't currently intend on taking up to 14. 14 is kind of the new, I like this character stopping point, because 14 gives so much more stats than like anything else. Like, so you know when you get a character to 10 and then you get them to 11 and 12, they don't feel like they grow that much. 11 maybe, 12 maybe, a little like comparatively, but it's not that much. 14 is such a huge jump from 13 that like it's almost, you almost should look at it as the cost of getting to 13 added to the cost of 14, that kind of thing. Yeah, but you get him to Dark Dimension 1. You use him for Dark Dimension 1 from using him, you know? Like, just from getting him that high, he doesn't need to be any particular difficulty. At the old days, when Gear Tier 13 was the highest a character could get to, it made a lot of sense to invest in that in a lot of characters, because that was, like, like you saying, like, I did as much as I can to make this guy as strong as I can. Now that there's not only 14, but 15, and really soon we're gonna get 16, it's better to kind of save your gear and only use it when you're certain the character is somebody you want to invest in, just because it's so hard to come across the resources. Same exact logic. Like, I'm using the energy now on mercenaries just to help them get a little bit higher, but there's not really a very likely world where these 3 characters are characters I'm going to be using for anything, at least as of right now. So, of the mercs I have here, I like more Taskmaster, but hard to get. You can get a red star on him now? Who? Mercs? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, he's gonna be stuck at 1 star for a long time. Another thing, just to let you guys know, that this series has helped me understand maybe a little bit better than I understood before, is a new concept that I'm gonna, not necessarily a new concept, but a new idea that I'd like to pitch, like a new pitch that I have. And that's the idea of characters, oh, that's not even better. That's worse, trust me. A new idea that I want to pitch to everybody that's putting characters within colored brackets. There being characters of different like values across the game. So let's use an example. Nebula currently is an example of a gray gear. You actually don't have to put anything into Nebula ever. So every piece of resource that you put into Nebula right now is fundamentally a waste. You know? You don't even need to worry about them. There's a bunch of characters like this. You know, most of the hand characters fall in this category. Not all of them, but most of them fall in this category. Most of the mercenaries actually fall in this category. 6, yes. 7, I don't like buying 7 on anybody, but he has a good character now, so if you're gonna do it, now would be the time, but that's it. Ravagers right now. So gray characters or gray tiers are characters that, like, you can literally play through the entirety of the game without putting a single resource in these characters ever, and still accomplish everything the game has, not only with ease comparatively, but like with the extra benefit of resources. And then there's green characters. Green characters tend to be Winter Soldier is an example of a green character. Mantis is an example of a green character. You know, most of the hand characters, most of the extras. This is like, you might have a justification for bringing them up a little bit, but you don't actually have to ever put a circle outside of them on green. And as time goes on, as you've built out, as we get up to the more difficult categories, it's way easier for you as a player to determine, oh, okay, I'm just gonna spend some more resources and put into Shield Operative now. You know, maybe up to a point you can get all the Shield characters with the green circle, and then after you've unlocked like Nick Fury and Coulson, you can cherry pick like Shield Security, Medic as the characters you want to bring up. Obviously, after that is blue. Blue characters tend to be like characters that are teams that you don't particularly care about, usually older teams maybe, you know, or whatever along the lines. Basically just kind of a rating system of the characters based on how much you get for the resources you put into them. Don't look at these characters yet. A lot of my characters are blue because I'm still early in the game, even though I've been playing for 9 weeks. 9 weeks is still a very early time in a game that's been out for 3 years and it releases two to three characters a month, you know? Yeah. So, and then there's purple characters, and that's, when I say purple, it's like you really don't have to bring those characters past purple. A lot of times that's going to be your power armor character. So Iron Man, he can get to gear tier 12 or less, really, but purple gear is the upper limit of what these characters need. Same extent goes to characters like the Sinister Six. Yeah, right. Characters like the Sinister Six, characters like the Wave 1 Avengers. They quite, in general, there's a lot of these characters, they don't ever need to see more than purple gear. They don't need to be brought to yellow, at least as of the game right now. And then, of course, you have the orange gear characters. Those are the characters that, like, I've said in the previous streams, those are the characters that are, like, a pleasure to work on. Like Silver Surfer, Kestrel, Zemo right now, Minerva. These characters are so good either at what they do or just at so many different things that putting more gear into them and making them stronger improves the quality of your gameplay. Now, anybody, keep in mind, this isn't like anybody who puts orange gear into Captain America is doing it wrong. No. This is more of a, you should feel confident that your orange gear going into, you know, Kestrel is an absolutely phenomenal approach. But the further away you get, so the closer you get down to what we were talking about, the green tiers and the gray tiers, like the further away you are from like where your value is, the more obvious it is that like maybe you should probably not worry about gearing this character up in general. There's no reason to put any gear in Nebula, but if you got her to green, like a green circle, whatever, that's fine. You can make an argument for Blitz, but that's a silly argument because you're clicking auto. The amount of points that one character will contribute over the course of a blitz, one blitz alone, even at high multipliers, is so minuscule that like she's not helping any team win. You know what I mean? Like you put her on a team that's already winning, so it doesn't make too much of a difference. And this is something that's really hard to kind of like wrap your head around when you've been playing the game for as long as I have, because a great example, I still can give advice to people that objectively is correct advice, right? Like, let me use an example. If I said, no, you can work on the Guardians, they still have value, that statement is not false, but now you have to work on, let's use Mantis, Groot, Drax, Star-Lord, and the value you're going to get out of these characters is so small, especially when you look at the cost in bio gear and in tech gear and whatever Gamora is that nobody remembers because who cares? Like, alien spores, you know what I mean? Like, the investment in these characters is no longer worth it because the gear that you could put into them is just going to go so much further on, I don't know, bio, alien spores, symbiotes, you know, tech gear, Ghost, Doom, Kestrel, Falcon, like they're independent characters worth more. So while I can still say, like, no, the Guardians are still fine, I can use them in the gamma raid at the beginning and end as I'm building up better options, right? The difference is I had the benefit of getting all of the Guardians when they came out. You know what I mean? Like, when the Guardians were released, I had them. I've had a 7-star Star-Lord since the 3rd time Star-Lord came around. So my experience with Star-Lord is a little bit different because to me it was like, well, obviously I was going to work on the new character when he's good. And that's why there's such a huge disconnect between the people who start the game now and are like super hyped about characters that are good now, and the people who don't quite get that you're never going to be rewarded for doing that. Your gameplay experience is never going to be rewarded for having like the strongest version of the X Factor if you just started the game 6-7 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. Like, spending all that money on X Factor is not going to reward you. It's going to give you like arena boosts, but within a very short period of time, teams tend to like hold their value the way like milk ages, you know? Like, very infrequently is there a team that's the best. For fuck's sake, like, the Symbiotes came out and they were clearly the best raid team in the game, and then less than 2 months later the Astonishing X-Men came out, and then people were like, but now the Symbiotes aren't good. Now granted, the Symbiotes are still better at Dark Dimension than the Astonishing X-Men, maybe. I mean, no one really tested it, but yeah, like, Symbiote Spider-Man is still a phenomenal character, and I think better than any of the individual characters on the Astonishing X-Men. I think that, like, Anti-Venom is closer in, like, power level to, like, maybe Bishop, and even Jubilee. Jubilee's a little bit underpowered compared to, like, the strength of a character like Emma, like, you know, the milestones they tend to release. But that said, like, she's still an incredible part of that team. That team is phenomenal. Anybody who worked on the Astonishing X-Men, at least now, hindsight's 2020, we could say you would have gotten, if you unlocked the Astonishing X-Men as early as possible for you as a player, which was their first pass, you are currently doing great, and we are 4 months after the release. Jubilee, I believe, was released sometime in February. Like, she was announced in January, but it wasn't until February till her event came out. So, like, 3 or so months after that happened, you've had an entire best raid team in the game for as long as you've needed to. How long until the next best raid team? Because then you know who it isn't, right? I don't watch other content creators' videos. Sorry, that's not true. I don't watch videos of other content creators that are just, like, fluff. I watch videos of other content creators when they have something to say about, like, hey, this is how my experience with Dark Dimension was, or this is what I did, you know, in Doom Raids, or this team is my arena team. Those are videos I'll watch because there's information there that I can learn from. Mobile Gamer rumoring Adam Warlock. If I honest to God, if I wanted a leak, assuming I wasn't me who had a good amount of leaks, I would probably like check out Tawna more often than not. The thing about Tawna is he'll say something right, you just have to kind of dig through all the stuff that isn't. You know what I mean? Like, he'll say the heroes for hire are likely to unlock the next legendary, but in the same conversation, he'll be like, and that legendary is Blade. And we're like, no. Penis not fart, yeah. So you said a blog post is up? Let's take a quick look at the blog post now. Shut up. Oh, suit up. Way different title than I thought it said. I thought it said let me move out of the way a little bit. I thought it said shut up. Tawna said Warlock. Hey, if Tawna's heard a couple of things that I haven't, so maybe. At a blast in the past, timeless looks. The costume-centered event consists of form and function milestones dressed to impress. Pink flash bits, which you can use to choice of 3 costumes. Building your costume collection using bits like the ones featured in this event. Okay. Engage in arena, alliance, war, and raid battles with any character to own points to a 7-day milestone. This is all that matters. This is whatever. This is whatever. This is whatever. This is what. Scarlet Witch 50s costume. Visions 50s costume. Thor Siege. If these costumes aren't for sale and you can only get them through the campaigns, nothing makes me happier than costumes that you cannot buy. Costumes that you have to do something in the game for. That nothing makes me happier than that. That's my, like, nothing in the world will ever compare to I earned this. Even if you spent money in the game that, like, to do something, like, you didn't spend money for the costume. You spent money, you got better at something, whatever that thing was. You got resources, and as a result of that, you get money. So, like, just giving them money, especially at the price points they have, I do not like for costumes. It's cool, but whatever. Rewards for engagement, huge fan, which is actually one of the reasons I hate, like, things like RTA so much, is, even then, most milestone events, I don't get why, and I mean seriously, that Falcon and Winter Soldier Day event was as close to a good event as they've ever done, and they still kind of took away what I imagine a good game would have done to make it relevant. So, like, the biggest issue with that game was that there was literally an infinite amount of time between your energy ticks, and you accrued energy. But the reward structure didn't scale. So after you farmed the hardest one 3 times, if you had extra energy, the second hardest one wasn't as rewarding, and God help you if you had to do the first fight. So that was something about that was a little bit like, I don't understand. They could have done that a little bit better to me. They could have made it so that the energy was normal, but you can't buy it, you know? Well, you can't buy it with cores, you can't refresh. You could refresh the nodes if you happen to have banked energy or something like that. But that entire thing just kind of felt a little off to me, and like, it was so close to good because the rewards were good, but it doesn't matter if the rewards are, like, rewards are good based on the time it takes to get them, right? So that's one of the reasons I don't like the battle pass in this game, where I really like the battle pass in other games, because you're not spending $20 for a ton of resources. You're spending $20 and a ton of time for a ton of resources. And if I could spend $20 to get the resources from the battle passes, either of them, or I could spend $30 to get the resources or more of the resources that I would want anyway, that's gonna come up. So if I look at the battle pass, the answer isn't $20 and I get Shatterstar, the RTA battle pass, the Mojo pass. If I look at that, it's not $20 for 50 more, what's his name, shards and gear pieces. It's work. So for $30, I could get a Shatterstar offer and some resources, but not have to do any work, not have to play in the game mode. To me, that $10 to get most of the things I care about and not have to play a game mode I don't enjoy, that $10 is worth it. So it has to kind of go in the reverse. I have to... my engagement has to be, I want to complete the battle pass. Like, I want to complete it so that then after I've completed the battle pass, it becomes a no-brainer that I should buy the offer. Like, you know, like, well, I already did. Like, I should want to complete the battle pass, not feel like I have to complete the battle pass. So if they changed it in a way where the completion of the battle pass, like if they literally just took the top tier, moved it to the bottom tier, and then made the top tier twice as powerful as that one, we'd be in a way better scenario. And that would be more indicative of what other battle passes do, usually 2 to 3 times the reward structure for paying out. Some battle passes give things that you pay for that you wouldn't get otherwise. Those kind of things kind of stand out. Like gold promotion credits could be on the top or something like that. Something where I'm like, oh, this 20 bucks is clearly worth it because it was worth it for me to spend my time and do the bottom one. That's where they constantly miss the ball in this game. So I'm a huge fan of this. But again, with the most recent event, they didn't even get the math right. And the math was simple. This is how the math they had to do. This is how much it takes to unlock Nick Fury. This is how many days it takes to finish the event. That was the amount, the minimum amount they needed to give out a day if they wanted it to be hard to get, right? Which I don't like in the first place, but that's up to them. So that was the math. I just did it, guys. I did all the math in this game right here. That's what they did. What did they do? 900 a day over 15 days. So what they could have done was just add an extra 400 points to the total pool, right? So that if, as long as you completed a part of the milestone, you were likely to get that back, right? You were likely to get what you were going for, but as an incentive to complete more, you got additional rewards that were worth your time. Maybe you could have completed the pass early, which I can do in a lot of other games. Maybe you could have, you know, gotten through stuff. It's that kind of thing that I don't think they understand slowly. Your brain knows, even though you don't. Like, your brain recognizes it. You might try to convince yourself, like, no, this is totally good value. Something that a lot of my friends say when we talk about it is, well, it's giving you rewards for things you're doing anyway. And then I go, cool, can we go back to a second and determine why I'm doing these things anyway? Why am I blitzing 8 times a day? It's because I can't. It's because I have to in order to get like a small amount of resources, as opposed to I get to because the rewards for completing a blitz fight would be meaningful. That kind of thing. So this was an event. So when they already kind of goofed on their first ever event, I'm not 100% have confidence in their ability to make this event go up, but whatever. So it is the 60% rate of conversion. Back to boot camp as strike rosters grow, training modules. So this is the new skill event. It is a new monthly flash event, which means it's probably going to... Did they say when it is? Near future. Well, that's either next month or the month after. Keep in mind to this. Pay very close attention to this, guys. This is a new monthly flash event. The only reason I'm saying pay attention to this, and I'm doing it in a recorded video instead of a normal stream, is because these guys do tend to make changes that go against what they said and then be like, we never said that. It's happened a lot. So if this is a monthly event, if they're announcing it as a monthly event, that means, just so you guys know, it means it's supposed to come by every month, right? Like, it's supposed to come by every month. Not every other month, like the gold or the other one. First pass is only up to 4. It should be only up to 3, right? You should be only up... You can only do 3 attempts unless they give you an extra bonus attack on the first try. The idea is... It generally takes 3 attempts to push through it. So the first time you'll be able to get through here because you only have 3 attacks. The second time you only get up to here, which is what I'm shooting for, to have a 6 star. Block party, thank you. No, it starts here. Even if they give you the first one away, but you only need 4 characters until you get to 5 anyway. Which is fine. So the first pass, you're literally not getting past this point. It doesn't matter if your entire team's 7 star. You have plenty of time. You have at least 1, 2, 3 months before you have to think about the 7-star event. So for me, I'm like, get him to 5. Even if I get him to 5, that's a meaningful jump to go from 3 to 5 in general. Oh, requiring ISOs. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Well, on the one side, ISOs, as far as anything is concerned, ISOs are some of the easiest thing to put on a character. You can literally farm them for a day. It's 1, 3, and 9 total ISOs. So it's it's so cheap to get to 3 that like I don't have a problem with it. So this actual ISO 8 green 1, 2, and 3, that doesn't bother me. Like in general, if you're gonna work this much on characters, it shouldn't take too much. The problem is it sets a precedent that implies that someday in the future there's going to be events that will require ISOs, which means they can eventually say something like, you need to have blue ISOs or, you know, maxed ISOs on a character to do it. And to me, that's shitty. So I'm gonna just kind of say, this isn't terrible. I don't think it's bad, but pay attention to the future because this looks like a real, like, what's the word? Like wishy-washy, dangerous zone to be in when it comes to trying to develop a game that allows people to access stuff with something that you're already getting stars on a character, you're already getting some gear investment. If it was a recommendation, I wouldn't care. Whatever they put here is useless information. You know what I mean? This is follow at your own rule. Like, I guarantee you I will not be gear tier 14ing the entire team to complete the 7-star event. Not gonna happen. Slippery slope, I don't like to use that argument. It tends to be like, it tends to be a logical fallacy more often than not, Brad. When people use slippery slope argument. Because, like, I would be more actively vocal about hating this. Let me put it this way. This is the kind of thing I would have done if I was trying to sneak, when I was working at the other game companies, I would try to, if I was trying to sneak something like shady into the game, this is the kind of thing I would have done to kind of like lube it up a little bit, like spit in my hand a little to get it going. That's what I would do. I'd be like, guys, ISO 8 greens are easy to get. This is so easy. And I would be more vocal now, even though this isn't a big deal. Even though this is not a big deal at all, I would be more vocal about hating it now so that in the future, if they do decide to make something like a raid or a legendary unlock, have a requirement that's not so small and esoteric. Like 3 is not really much for most players, especially if you're at the point of this. Like, if they ever released a legendary, it'd be bad enough if they made it a 5 or 6 or 7-star like team. If they're like, oh, and you also need ISO blues on it, that's a lot of investment, and there's just no reason for that to exist. Make the fights difficult, and you can choose one thing, level 5, you know? You know, they're already limited based on the characters, so get them to level 5. How'd that happen? Platinum to gold 3? That's a huge drop. Yeah, Dark Dimension also has gear tier 15 among a specific pool. That's crazy. If the next Dark Dimension requires ISOs versus, you know, ISOs would be a good option, be careful. All I'm saying, this is the kind of thing that companies do when they're trying to like slip it in. This is just the tip, guys, just so you know. Right now they're playing just the tip with us. You don't have to like it, right? You don't have to think it's a bad thing, but what if I don't want to invest at all in one of the characters because I know I could beat it with the 3 characters I have invested in? Especially because this is added to the game because we wanted more training modules, and this is a weekly thing, a monthly thing, I'm sorry. Like, Magneto, Invisible Woman, and Star-Lord are part of the legendary cycle. 3 shards of up to 7 of the characters. Yeah, that's fine. There's not 7 characters required. Oh yeah, there are. Whatever. Upcoming blitzes. We know we have... Yeah, May 20th. Next week is the Dragon's Daughter. Blitz 1. This is the one I think that matters. I'm not here to watch a video that they produced. Thanks. Bonus and flash events. We got jam-packed schedule. For all bonus events, fill your feature trait, whatever. Black and Ebony legendary event. Yep, that's to unlock Ebony Maw. Made in the lab on May 16th, which is technically started now, but save your orbs. I told you guys yesterday on my stream, don't sleep on this event. I'm serious. Don't sleep on this event. Like, get those orbs up. I don't know if they're gonna need the orbs, but... Do you have any news on whether Adam Warlock is coming next patch? No, I only have good information. Although, it's not unreasonable to imagine Adam Warlock being added to the game, because Adam Warlock has been a character they've been toying around with. I don't believe what I've heard. I'll show you the orbs in a second when we get up here. Then on May 22nd, my birthday. The party name, Sweet! Yay! Birthday reward for Tony. Alright. This blog post is kind of whatever, who cares? No news is good news. Beginning of the week, I said this is going to be an uneventful week. Thankfully, it was. You had asked what orbs. When you complete a blitz, you get fragments of a aim orb. What are you right about, Bishop? What about Bishop? Oh, Bishop going into the... Wait, did they say Bishop's going into orbs? Congrats. Did they say something? Yeah. I don't think there's any reason to worry about it. But I am just kind of... I'm going to hold these. Just for a couple of days. Just to see. I would be more shocked if Adam Warlock came next month. But if more information becomes available, I'll let you guys know. As far as the next things that could be happening, first of all, please, just so we're all on the same page, next patch is like here. Maybe here. But probably here. So the next patch is most likely not going to be until the 2nd or 3rd week of June. So we got a lot of time, guys. We got Colleen Wing Blitz 1, Colleen Wing Blitz 2, Misty Knight Blitz 1, Misty Knight Blitz 2. It's possible that the patch is the 7th and we'll go into the Misty Knight Blitz. Yeah, wait, what are we talking about? Did they say, did that news post say that Bishop was being added to something? Did I miss it? No even mention of the word Bishop here. Was it a male? Look, what are we talking about? Oh, unless you're talking about guessing about Bishop. Is there a new reason for the aim push? Yeah, because they're doing a tie-in event right now. You'll see it here in a second. I'll leave it up here. They're doing a tie-in event. MODOK has a TV show coming out. If MODOK were to... Yeah. If MODOK were to come out... as a character, to my knowledge, MODOK is supposed to be a gold milestone character, but that was like last year when they were originally designing him. And he is supposed to come to the game. So now would be a phenomenal time to introduce MODOK to the game. He even could be a legendary, technically. If you really think about it, he could be the legendary that helps AIM beat the Heroes for Hire team, if that were the path that they were taking. But making MODOK a legendary character that beats the Heroes for Hire defense team, and that's pretty much the only thing that he would be amazing for, is a little bit weird considering the fact that I'm pretty confident we already have a legendary and a team that combines to beat what the Heroes for Hire do. And just to throw it out there, because a lot of times people don't necessarily remember, all of the Heroes for Hire, at least to my knowledge, are city heroes. And there's a team in the game that does a pretty good job, or at least gets bonuses whenever they fight city heroes. I'd like to look into it a little bit more, but there are some. Heroes for Hire team beating Black Order? No fucking chance. No fucking chance. He'd be quite a big deal. A completely different character model. He wouldn't be able to share any animations. What are you talking about? Well, they already have a character model for MODOK. Like, that character model already exists in the game. Has for probably a good 14, 15 months. Me and Tony used to joke about it. Like, yo, when's MODOK coming? Because we both have the same, like, pictures and images of MODOK. We're like, all right, they did well. Vulture has a bonus for City. Yeah, like, there's just... a lot of what these characters do seem to be okay. Yeah. So MODOK is supposed to be coming to the game, but we don't know when. So, like, whatever. So is US Agent. So is the Wanda and Vision rework. So is Nightcrawler, and Rogue, and Gambit, and Blade, and Morbius, and Mephisto. Well, he's been but yeah, but that's the difference. Knowing that Blade is a legendary character is not the same as knowing a character's kits are in the game. You know what I mean? Like, I talked to you guys about the Night Nurse rework for months before it happened. Like, knowing it's going to happen and knowing when aren't inherently the same things. So going into next month, the only things I know is we are likely to get, in the next patch, right? Whatever the next patch is, what we are most likely to get is a new seasonal milestone character, and eventually the release of Emma as a farmable character. That's the first thing. The second thing we are most likely to get is introduction to whom the next legendary is, which will probably come a little bit later after they've officially run through all of the characters needed to do it. And I'm guessing Heroes for Hire, just a guess I've been talking about for a while. Maybe a 5th Heroes for Hire character? I don't know. I don't have that information. I'm just guessing. It's a good guess. What I do know is it's not supposed to be the X Factor, the Shadowlands, the Astonishing X-Men, or the Skill Military. So when you remove those characters from the pool of who the next legendary character could be, it starts looking real good that the 200 shard unlock characters who are a war defense team might be part of that. But again, I don't know. I'm not claiming to have secret information. That's just what I suspect. Either that, or we still have time to go before the next legendary character is announced, which would sound really weird because we're about a month behind everything. Which is crazy because we weren't actually a month behind schedule for most of the game. It just started 2021 where the game started being a little bit behind the 8-ball. It's where we missed the tie-in for the Scarlet Witch and Vision event. It's where the Falcon and Winter Soldier event didn't release US Agent so that they can get Silver Surfer out instead, or Kestrel instead. You know, like, a lot of stuff they're doing that's a little bit off, but like, whatever. Anyway, that's enough theory. Let's talk about the game. I have not spent any money this month. Sorry, this week. This is how much I've gone in. The first offers, as we know from last week, I bought the 400k TCP account, $1.99 offer, and I bought the $24.99 Kestrel offer. I was not about to get Kestrel booped. Like, she's too good in the early game for me to lose that. Am I gonna build up that 5 red? She's not really gonna get much more gear than she has right now, but I will probably complete her stars. Like, I'm still trying to farm her every day. I don't really have much to farm right now because I'm level 70, so all the things I would farm are either in stores or inaccessible. So I've just been basically farming gear pieces for characters I care about. Speak of the devil. I don't mind picking up some cable, too. When you accidentally click the button, and then it makes you play the game. What do they think this is? And these are... I might as well just wait to see them in raid supply. There it is. Perfect. So... basically the rule of thumb that I will be using going forward, again, I don't mind repeating, for continuance's sake, is level 60 to 65. I consider those fundamentally, yes, afterwards. I consider level 60 to 65 fundamentally, stop. Oh, I can't even move it. I consider them like the same, basically because it only costs about, I think it's 700,000 to go to 6 to 7. I don't need much on her. I don't plan on using her as the game progresses. So the fact that I have 5 red stars, well, sure, I'll spend a little bit more time getting more stars on her. What happened to all your cores? Didn't you have like 3,000? What happened to all my cores? I used them. I used all the cores. I had 3,200. I used all the cores so I could do the event. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna use some more cores now. Yeah, this is the only value cores have in the game. But I've actually been spending excess cores. Like, I'm spending more than the normal, what is that? 1, 2, 3. This is the end, right? More than the normal 200 on this. Yeah, because this event is giving a lot of resources back to me. This is a very good event. And I really want, I want that Nick Fury costume before I unlock Nick Fury. I think it'll be hilarious. So generally speaking, I will finish all of hard, and even then, earlier on, I did some of the mediums too. So that's it. I'll do all of these. If I decide I want to do a little bit more, Actually, earlier on, I would do whatever leftover I had over here, because the efficiency cost, it's only 80, and you still get roughly a similar amount per energy spent at the hardest 3 nodes, but, like, that's its own thing. And then, I'm not going out of my way for a 5-star version, but I'm just trying to close the gap a little bit. These campaigns are the only reason to spend cores in the game, and rarely is it even for the character itself. It usually ends up being because the orbs on their own are a pretty reasonable pool of characters that I am looking to access, both early game and for late game stuff, you know? So, not unreasonable. But next legendary you go after IW. I'm not targeting any particular legendary right now. The game is currently, how high should we have them? It's not that kind of event. If you're worried about your aim's investment, start banking gear for aim characters. So let's take a quick look at stores. It's like hard to describe. The store actually never has anything I need, so. As for the Blitz store, the only character that's close to me caring about is Toad. Let's see. No. No. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Nope, nope, nope. Nope. Yes, but not anytime soon. I'll start farming him if I end up with a 4-star yellow jacket from, like, Mega Orbs and stuff. Then I'll be like, screw it, we're converting to get Jubilee. He's already done. We don't have to touch him ever again. Miles is good, but I'll get him when I get him. Thing is no unlock. Strife is useless. Rescue is useless. Toad is the only other character on this entire pool that's even close to a legendary. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nothing, don't worry about it. How will early game change for new players who get Kestrel? They won't experience Arena in a much different way. They will, however, experience War and competing with slots for raids and stuff in a very different way. Kestrel's existence means that every player who comes out after Kestrel's existence is going to be at a huge disadvantage when it comes to accessing value in the game. She created a pretty negative setup for the game. But in general, I just open these. If there is a character I want to target, I will just buy him. But for Blitz Store, once I got Rhino up, it didn't matter. So Toad is the mutant I'm gonna work on. Everyone else is so irrelevant to unlock, with Ant-Man as the exception, that there's no reason to even target farm him. Just open orbs and get what you get. You'll be fine. And again, we're not really buying war energies yet. We're not doing the 8 attacks we get in a war until we get those. Until we're doing 8 attacks over the course of a war. I can, but not reliably. I'm not worried about buying energy in a war. Raid store, it's see Zemo, buy Zemo. There's no limit to the strength on Zemo. Everything else kind of falls into its own category. In general, I do like to save my raid credits for gear. As you can see, like, the cost for which you get ends up being way more meaningful. So I don't buy blue gear, really, but, like, purple gear and then obviously orange gear eventually. We are not buying characters like Cyclops. Even Killmonger, we're not directing, and Namor, not really. I will occasionally open raid orbs. When I get over, like, 10,000, that's when I... Like, if I go this long, right, and Zemo's not in the raid store when I check, and I end up with over 10,000, I'll open a couple raid orbs just to get some more character shards. But in general, everything in this area... Shatterstar. Guys, Shatterstar. Say it with me. Shatterstar. Shatterstar. Arena Store, it's basically Blob and Heimdall. It's basically just these two characters. I don't really care about anybody else. I really don't. Like, I guess Crystal is somewhere on that list, but I don't have to worry about Crystal until I get Black Bolt, so that, by definition, means Black Bolt's a higher... How is Shatterstar solo-wise? Shatterstar is the best character on that team. And as a hero brawler, you can get a lot of value out of him as a character early game. That said, I do happen to have Longshot, so I do look forward to using Shatterstar and Longshot for, like, RTA when I unlock it. Like, I'll tell you, my experience in RTA will become 1,000 times better if I had access to Shatterstar and Longshot, because I'm such an early game player. That said, I'm not buying characters just to get real good at RTA. Ooh. As I need to use, like, hero cosmic characters to win, and then I get punch-ups of 100k. 800k, you know? So you're not going to Swarm for Sinister Six? Just get there naturally? I finished Swarm. If there's a Gamora and Nebula rework, that's news to me. Yeah, so here's the Sinister Six. Let me just show you guys on this account where they are. Swarm and Rhino are done. These guys are stuck at 4. The issue is, Swarm and Vulture are in the same store. And Swarm is a higher damage dealing character. Electro and Rhino are in the same store. Given the opportunity, my team would be Green Goblin, Shocker, Mysterio, Electro, and Rhino. That would be the perfect farm for me. Those would be the characters I'd care the most about. But because Swarm and Vulture are splitting a store, Swarm is at least a little bit more. No, that's fair. It'd be news to me. I would, listen, I'll tell you guys, I'll talk about Nebula in a sec. I don't care. Like, none of these characters are particularly good early game, even for the stuff that you need to do them, like, you need them for. So I don't really care for them. But Rhino is almost... When you're building a Sinister Six team, like, you start with Doc Ock, right? I'm, like, almost convinced Rhino is the guaranteed include number 2. I've never seen... If I've ever seen a Sinister Six team without Rhino, my fear level goes down by 100%. Like, I'm like, oh, there's no Rhino? Well, they can't taunt. I can target anyone I want. And I can blind whoever I want. This is amazing. I have so many more options. Rhino specifically comes across as one of the most, like, best to add on the team characters. Then it's Electro, and then I honestly don't care. Generally speaking, Shocker is not worth the investment because you're gonna get a Shocker equal to Doc Ock. So he would be Blue Gang, just for the sake of the conversation from earlier. Like, we would not put purple gear on him because eventually I'm going to end up with a Shocker. Will that change if I pulled, like, a 7 Red Star Shocker? No, because I don't think I would ever use Vulture anyway. So, like, the only way you would use Shocker is if you wanted Vulture, and I don't think I want Vulture. I want Doc Ock, Rhino, Electro... And then, like, Swarm, Mysterio, and Green Goblin all kind of slot fill. Green Goblin's great for removing buffs from a team that buffs themselves. Mysterio is great for increasing the overall focus of your team and making sure that they have deflex anytime, which is good for survivability in general. Green Goblin is also a huge damage dealer. And then Swarm gives you a lot more burst if you feel like the fight's going to go over a long period of time and you want to get people down and start putting some bleed stacks on them. So, like, there's a lot of good options, but, like, Electro, Doc Ock, and Rhino, those are the 3 that are, like, gotta have it. And the order of which they summon is huge, too, because I would use Doc Ock. If you could select who Doc Ock summons, oh, that's a different fight altogether, isn't it? Like, if you just picked the character at the beginning when it loads in, I would choose Rhino every time. I want the Rhino that has Doc Ock stats. And, like, you know, like, I want the Rhino that's based on my Doc Ock investment. Because he'll load in and get double his health from tier 4s without having to work on it. The problem is the only way to do that is to use Shocker and Vulture, and I don't think you get enough value out of Shocker, Vulture, Electro, Swarm, and then, like, Mysteria, or, no, it's Doc Ock. I don't think these characters give you enough value that bringing in Rhino is gonna break the game for you. Weird little flexes, but, you know, they are what they are. Hell, if it was a random character from the pool you didn't have, I think it's still right to not bring in Shocker, but that is what it is. Mutants are kind of where I'm going. Oh wait, I don't have to do this anymore. Let me show you this. So one thing I'm doing is, like, characters I'm actively working on, I keep in battle favorites. So I have these guys here. If I'm ever, like, I have to spend energy and, like, I'm at energy cap or something, I'll just go, okay, I'll farm these guys, get them to 5, get Shuri. I'm confident I'll have IW and Shuri by the next time IW comes out. I've already done the 4-star event of Shuri, opened the Mega Orb, been great, having a great time. So, like, it's cool, but I don't need to prioritize them because there's nothing right now that I'm gonna get as a player from having Shuri and IW. I might get a little bit more value from characters like IW and Shuri later. But since there's no impetus and IW is literally just came and is gonna be back in about 7 weeks, a month and a half, I have a month and a half to collect the rest of these shards and these characters. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Like, we'll get it, you know? Zemo, high priority. Surfer, there's nothing I can do for Surfer. Literally, nothing I can do for Surfer. Get a couple of shards here or there because they made the raid milestone stupid. There's nothing I could do for Surfer. I could just put gear into him and maybe get another red star as time goes on, but he's not even in the store yet. Kestrel, I'm gonna try to get her to 5-star. I'm not worried about red stars on her. I'll pick them up. Well, I'm gonna get a 3rd red star on her soon, I think. Very soon, actually. ISO impacts are kind of tricks. So, Here. The best way to describe ISOs are, in the early game, this is what matters. The earlier are in the game, these words mean a lot. Gaining a little bit of max health is on everything, but, like, getting an extra attack, that's relevant. Fortifier, starting with an extra 10, 20,000 health, basically, is relevant. Healer, you know, increasing the amount of healing you're doing and throwing out passive heals as you go, right? Huge, huge deal. Raider, you know, increasing crit chance based on the characters and what they do. It was very easy. Or at least for me, on both accounts, it was easy. So, like, these are so important because of how they are basically, like, real numbers. This is 15% crit chance, you know, not 15% boosted damage. On the other side, get a load of this. So this is Striker, right? Striker gives me 5% damage. Let's just take a quick look at something. My Kestrel's damage is 7,266. With my current ISO setup, which is ISO 3, right? Right, tier 3, green 3, whatever you want to call it. And Raider, it goes up to 7,629. Let's real quick, let's just put Striker on her at 5% and see how much of a difference that is. 7,629 was the previous number. 7,932. That 300 extra damage is not... What's up, Nate? Is not shit. Like, that doesn't matter. But a higher chance to crit on Kestrel, that's going to be a huge deal. That's an extra 30%, not 5%. Well, actually, a little bit more than 30, close to 40% at where I have it. But still, you know what I mean. Like, it's going to be more impactful damage when it comes up. Now, that's, again, that's just math problems that you get to do and boring shit that doesn't matter. So the early stages of the game, getting a character to ISO 2 or 3, but 2 on its own, is so big because of what the abilities of these things do. That, like, you're going to get so much value. Hell, even if you put Healer 2 on everybody, it's huge for what you're doing. Later in the game, what these things do is significantly less relevant than the percentage increase you get from actually adding ISOs. So later, when you're at endgame, when you're doing raid U7 and Doom raids, the 2% bonus you get per one of these little pips is so much more, because 2% of 100 is higher than 2% of 50. You know what I mean? So, like, your stats are higher, you've invested more, you have higher gear tiers. The 2% thing will be worth more because you've put more into the character. So when it comes to ISOs, early game ISOs, it's really about what they do. Even Thor would probably benefit. Oh, it's those two. You know what, Thor? You could be a little bit stronger. There you go. Give him a little bit more health. Again, that's 10% increase in health. You know, that ISO, when you get Striker to 2, that, from whatever these maths were, that gave him a 10% increase in health. It's not much. You'd think 10% is 60k. It tends to be a little bit more because there's other numbers that are calculated. But, like, that only matters later. You know? That comes up much later. So you don't have to, like, do the math on that. But yeah, ISOs matter more. ISOs matter the entire game. How they matter and why they matter and what you should do with them changes based on where you are in the game. So, like, you'll notice that Hulk and Cap both have ISO healer. I'm done with these idiots. We're not going to touch them for a long time. So I don't have to worry about, well, they have good healer now. Like, they're done. We've gotten good characters now. Like, we're working. Captain Marvel, I'm gonna be using because I have a decent Red Star pool on her. But this is as much as she might get this eventually, right? But, like, this is it. We're not going more gear. In general, every character, unless I'm bringing them into Dark Dimension, I buy. Oh, that's a good question. Give me a second on that, Diego. I want to finish this thought. I'm basically 65 is my limit right now. Well, I'm level 61. So I won't bring any character to 65 right now unless I intend on using them in Dark Dimension. And by in Dark Dimension, I mean any Dark Dimension. So Surfer is gonna get as much gear as I get, right? Like, he'll be as strong as he needs to be so he can go into Dark Dimension 2, 3, 4, etc. Hela, same thing. I'm bringing Hela into Dark Dimension. Minerva, she's coming with me. 1, 2, 3. Who are the other two characters? Depends. Right now, it's looking a lot like Zemo and Kestrel. Half the tech gear, half the skill gear. Right now, it's looking like them. There is one guy waiting in the winds, asking me very politely. Let me fix this problem. There's one guy waiting in the winds. Every day, he asks me, when will it be my turn? And I tell him, not yet, sir. Not yet. How does Zemo do in DD2? Just wondering. Not great. What Zemo does is he removes buffs. So in Dark Dimension 2, there's a lot of times a Drax will spawn and have taunt. Having Zemo will mean that he doesn't have taunt. And it's basically you're taking advantage of Minerva. So every character that dies on that comp is insane if you res them, right? The one we were just talking about. How's Elsa gonna do? Did I say Elsa? Because I definitely did not mean to say Elsa. Do they ever offer SSM to be bought? Yeah, but I'm not buying them. Did I say Elsa? Or are you just asking a separate question about how does Elsa do? The answer is as well as any other average character does. So yeah, right now it's definitely Surfer, definitely Minerva, definitely Hela, and then Zemo and Kestrel. Okay, then, and the reason why is, if Kestrel dies, rezzing Kestrel will give her another charge. If Zemo dies, he will respawn with a charge and then ult again. If Hela dies, 2 Gregs, we know that. If Surfer dies, which is impossible, he will spawn with another 3 turns of defense up. So, like, the team of good character investments does kind of work a little bit. What's up, Pat? It's good to see you. Emma? I don't have Emma. Why are we asking questions I've already... Motherfucker Jones. Kestrel, Surfer, Zemo, Hela, Minerva. If I get Symbiote Spider-Man, I'll probably prioritize him over... If I had to pick, it would be maybe Kestrel. Only because I don't want to spend the tech and skill gear. And she doesn't actually need much to be good. What are you going to buy with this month? Nothing's come up yet. I have a ton of extra. It's 24 bucks. 23 bucks, right? So Symbiote Spider-Man is the character that, like... But if I get to level 70 and I haven't unlocked Symbiote Spider-Man by that time, like, I don't care. You know, like, I'm just not doing it. The only way I could get Emma is by spending $60. I would have to spend my entire monetary budget. I don't even know if Emma's offers are 30 bucks or 50 bucks. No, I think they're higher, right? When those offers show up. I think she's more. Yeah, I can't even afford to buy Emma. There's literally nothing in the game. You cannot access Emma. That said, access to Emma is probably going to be a little bit more reasonable in the future. Yeah, you are out of your goddamn mind if of my... Not you, but, like, Scopely. If you think of my limited funds, and not just me, every player in this game has a limit to the amount they could spend. Some players haven't reached that limit yet because they're rich, and that's fine. Some players have a budget because they have other things that take money, wife or whatever, and that's fine too. But if you think for 1 second I'm spending any amount of money on half of a character unlock, I think Emma might be one of the few characters I have 0 shards on. Oh, how did I even know? How did I get 10? Oh, it was the 10 for 10. The 10 for 10 gave me 10 Emma shards. Remember that? 10 for 10. Yeah, like, hold on. It's exclusively legendaries, like legendary characters, the 2 most recent characters, 2 Dark Dimension characters, Ultimus, legendaries, and a character that, you know, obviously hasn't been out yet, are the only characters I don't have a single shard on. I have 15 Doc Ock shards. Think about that for a minute. Yeah. Crazy. Boop, boop, boop. Now, someone had asked me a question that I said, give me a sec, I will finish that thought. What's happening with Jubilee? No, she'll be next. She'll be next week. Or she'll be after the next event. She's the next main legendary. Which stores do I buy gear from? Raid store. And, Arena store. Not Arena, War store. I think I'm all caught up. Yeah, if you ask me a question I didn't answer, please feel free. Silver. Oh, thank you. What was I spending my silver promotion card? Thank you, guys. So generally speaking, I'm buying a silver promotion credit on any character, up to 3. I'll spend up to 3 on characters that I'm using or I'm going to use. So to me, buying 1 on Pyro is reasonable. Aim security, a little bit less so. I have no intention of using aim security. And the reason why is, 1, I have Pyro. 2, I use Pyro. And 3, in the future, if I pull any more Pyros, I want to continue to feed the Elite Orb pool. So there's no real reason for me to start banking these credits yet, because by the time I get a meaningful amount, I'm not even talking about 50, right? To get a 4-star. By the time I get a meaningful amount of of credits, enough to buy multiple 4-stars or God help me a 5-star, by that time, the pool of characters that I might even have that are worth bringing to 5-star is going to be so small. This is experience talking. This is knowing that there is a window of time in which buying red stars on a character is relevant, and it changes over time. Right now, like, there are so few characters that still have the same red star value today that they had when they were released. Like Sinister, Thanos, Symbiote Spider-Man, Silver Surfer and Kestrel, obviously. Thinking of other characters that, like, Emma still has good value for her red stars. But then you have, like, Colossus, at which point Colossus used to be like, holy shit, you have red stars on Colossus? You're amazing. And now it's like, what? Why? You know? Yes, their design was to hold back the credits so that it would take forever for you to get Ultron. And ultimately, what they didn't realize is, screw you. Doc Ock is another one. Yeah. Very few characters hold their value for that long. So a lot of characters are buy your red stars now. So therefore, it's not, unless you have the star count or a decent investment of red stars in a newer character, every month that passes that you didn't buy the red stars in that character, you get, it's not just that month you missed out, it's that month of value, and then going into whenever you're losing the value going forward because some of those characters don't really hold up. Yeah, so there's no reason, but that's the whole point. I'd rather have Elite 4s and 5s to hold for new characters than have 50 credits to buy for a specific character. And by spending the limited amount of credits on characters that I'm using now, it increases my likelihood of pulling duplicates, and that's how you play the minigame of red stars. But that's always been true. The minigame of red stars is how fast can you get your entire roster to 4 red? Or how fast can you get your entire roster to 3 red so that the Elite 4 orbs are constantly opening an upgrade? Do you like the way they design promotion credits? No. In DD4 Legendary Node, I can sub out Phoenix for Jubs. Is Phoenix still worth taking out? You don't sub Phoenix for Jubs. They don't do the same thing. Jubilee is like, so the team is, here's basically how you do it, right? The DD4 difficulty nodes, right? It's Doc Ock and Maw. Those are the 2 characters. The other characters you have, who gives a shit? And I mean it, like, use IW. Just don't use Magneto, right? Like, you can actually. Someone brought in Magneto, hero that he is. Someone brought in Nick Fury, hero that he is. You know, like, the nodes are very fallible. Like, you're not, in Dark Dimension 4, you're never gonna get to the point where it's like, well, I'm stuck here forever. It's just gonna be like, you might be stuck there for a couple more days. So, like, once you have those 2 characters, pick the character you want. If you have a gear tier 14, Phoenix, then she's actually 54, so she's a cheap investment to go up, you know? If you have a gear tier 14 Jubilee, she's a good investment going forward, so she's also reasonable. So I don't think there's a right or wrong choice. I think you just do what makes sense to you. Been playing along when you have a question. I got a Taskmaster in my first Mega. Do you think he's worth building for a game? Yes, sir! I also just pulled a Taskmaster out of a Mega Orb, literally the other day. Taskmaster, I'll call him, let's do a quick look through some stuff. Let's start with the one you asked about. So let's go to skill, right? skill. So as far as skill characters are concerned, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 great ones. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 good ones, and then the rest are all mediocre. So, like, do you have Kestrel? Work on Kestrel. Do you not want to work on Kestrel anymore? Work on Zemo. Do you not want to work on Zemo anymore? Work on Killmonger. Do you not want to work on Killmonger anymore? What's up, Taskmaster? You know what I mean? Like, that's just my mentality. Killmonger is good in a lot more places, but, like, every place Taskmaster's good, Killmonger's good, but you also want Taskmaster. So, that's it. Yes, here's the thing you're missing. You do not require a Gear Tier 15 Jubilee for Doom Raids. So, by the logic of Jubilee is better for raids, which is 100% accurate, a Gear Tier 14 or 13 Jubilee, I would prefer 14, is as much as she needs. Therefore, the getting her to 15 is actually less value than bringing up like Beast, Bishop, Iceman, or Kitty Pryde using the same amount of gear. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another in that conversation. I'm running Kestrel, SS, Zemo, Minerva, Thor. How should I do my Stark tech? You're running that for what? Oh, I'm bringing 5 in for my first pass of Dark Dimension. Why? Because it's been so long since I've gotten anything on Doc Ock that I actually had enough resources to bring up 4 non-Doc Ock legendaries. And why haven't I started it yet? Because without Doc Ock, it's literally useless. As to be fair, I haven't finished Invisible Woman yet. She's still missing a couple pieces. Kestrel is skill and tech. That team has... I mean, you're running Kestrel, Silver Surfer, Zemo, Minerva, and Thor, right? There's a character in there that's not like the other. Kestrel is phenomenal. Silver Surfer's phenomenal. Zemo's phenomenal. Minerva's pretty damn good. Thor ain't shit. So if you're running Thor, that's your choice, but you're not supposed to be investing to Thor. So you have 1 Mystic, 2 skills, and 2 tech characters. If you ask what your Stark tech should be, it should be skill, tech, Mystic, health and damage priorities. Because Thor is not a part of that team. You haven't got anyone to replace Thor. I understand. You will. Don't do the silly thing and just keep working on Thor because you have him. But like you have him now, so use him. But don't. I'm not telling you throw him in the garbage. There's a better option. Off the top of my head, better options than Thor. Yo-Yo, Taskmaster, Magneto, Shuri, Iron Invisible Woman. Captain Marvel, Loki, Hela. You know. Can't be better than Thor? No. No. Yeah. No. You're not. No, Jordan, you're doing the thing where you look at what you have and you're treating that like how you're supposed to like worry. Don't worry about what you have. Don't worry about what you have. Look forward. Like what you have is what you're dealing with now. So like let's look at what I had. For the first couple of weeks, my team was Cap, Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, and Black Widow. And then I got Minerva. And then Minerva became a replacement. And then, you know, eventually I ended up, like, right now, like, in the last month, I've gotten these two characters, right? But, like, we were all working towards Zemo. You already have Zemo. So, like, don't worry about what you have now. Use what you have now. And, again, Thor is a fine investment because you're gonna end up using him eventually. But you don't have to be like, I need to farm him in the raid store and gears and stuff. Like, no. He's a placeholder for a better character. Will MODOK team use aim infector? What the fuck is the MODOK team? Tell me about it. I got a 7 red stars Yondu, so I made him my first gear tier 15. Do you actually like Yondu, like from the comics and stuff? Nice. Yep, you good. Like, oh, that's what someone asked me about. So, full disclaimer, there is no information. I actually had to look this up. There is no information about Empowered Nebula or a Nebula Gamora rework. There is no information about that. That doesn't mean it's not happening. That just means whoever said that's happening has a source that I don't have. Because my sources have been like, what the fuck is that? So, if there is a Nebula Empowered or a weird Crush rework or a Ravager rework that ends up with Nebula being reworked, which is what I actually have heard in the past. Has Thor Seed costume look? I'll show you. Then that would be cool. That said, I'm not saying I'm not, like, there are times when someone says, that's not happening to me. Like when someone said, so-and-so is the new legendary. I'm like, no, they're not. I know for a fact that's not it. Because I was told. He was right about Kestrel. He was. Valley and I were ecstatic when we found out about Kestrel. We just didn't know if Kestrel was a new character or if they were going to use that. Do I think Kestrel will be good for DD3? You still haven't answered my question, Zeus. Also, no. I don't think Kestrel will be good for DD3, but I think Kestrel's a good character, so I don't think it's like a bad thing to invest in her. I just don't think she matters for DD3. Oh, don't say that. I don't think, like, I again, Kestrel's information hit everybody at the same time. I don't do YouTube videos that much anymore, so I don't care. Actually, I've never done YouTube videos like that. I've, once in a blue moon, I did it for Anti-Venom. I did it for Female Electro. Occasionally, I do a YouTube video, just to troll people, where I come out and say, like when Rescue, if anyone remembers my Rescue YouTube video, where it was like, what's happening? And I was like, it's Rescue, the character is Rescue, stop questioning who it is. You like Yondu in the movie? Cool. I was gonna say, I'm like, because a 7 red star Yondu, you gotta like the character to put anything into him. If you gave me a 7 red star Nebula right now, I'd be like, wow, that's a 7 red star level 1 Nebula. Kestrel doesn't really need orange gear. Gear tier 14 will help her with Doom Raids a little, but she doesn't need much. You have a top 5 character list? Yeah. In my head, I do. Would you care to know the top 5 characters in this game right now? More Doom Emma Frost, Silver Surfer, and Mr. Sinister. Top 5 characters in the game. Is that the order? Move them around, whatever makes you happy. Yeah, Gear Tier 13 Fury is awesome. Yeah. Surfer, I think Surfer is probably, like, second or first best character, and then Emma is the other one who's in that conversation. And then somewhere in that pool is, like, Sinister, Maw. Doc Ock is, like, knocking on that door, too. So it's really hard to hit top 5. But don't worry, guys. Of the top 5, only one of them is farmable. What about Kestrel? What about Kestrel? I begrudgingly give her slot number 10. And I do it so I don't have to have a conversation with somebody that says, like, she's a top 10 character. I'm like, alright, fine. She's number 10. Could Shuri's not working for you? Yeah. Kestrel's definitely like a hair better than Longshot, but they have like roughly the same value. Crit Shuri. Here's all you need to know about Crit Shuri. She's the most fun you can have sucking at the game. You wanna know how the Crit Shuri moves are? Yeah, me and Goofy were doing a roster roast, and somebody had some crazy ISOs. Crazy ISOs. Crazy ISOs. They had like Fortifier on Doc Ock. And like, you know, the kind of guy I am, I'm trying to be like, well, that's actually not the worst thing I've ever heard. Like, when he would say certain things, right? Like, oh, Fortifier on Doc Ock. I'm like, well, if the rest of your Sinister Six is all like 30k, what the hell is Healer doing on him anyway? You know, it's not doing much, so like, whatever. Who cares? Like, might as well have Fortifier to protect him. But like, that's more of a jokey kind of thing. And then he had Heal on Zemo, and I was like, that one's weird. And then we saw Raider Shuri, and for 2 hours we were just like, how do you do this? So we figured out a really fun way to use Raider Shuri, and we were very clear on the fact, me and Goofy, this is very stupid, because whatever you can do with Crit Shuri, you can do with a different non-Shuri character that's better. Literally anything. Whatever you were doing with Shuri that needed Raider, you could replace her. I promise. So, so we memed it. We all did it. We all did it for the memes because it was funny. And then Valley called me and said, what's Crit Shuri? And I was like, don't worry, I'll do a video and we'll talk about Crit Shuri. And then I had said, Crit Shuri is the meta for a universe none of us live in. Like in an alternate multiverse, Marvel Strike Force, Crit Shuri is the meta, but not here, like not for us. And then of course, as is tradition, about a week after I say something is when everybody else says it for the most part. So fast forward exactly 1 week. Mobile Gamer's doing a Crit Shuri build, which means somebody, somewhere, heard that it was a good idea. And now, you now know, as a viewer, you now know how to spot an idiot. Do you have to sans Emma if trying to clone Kestrel? Using Ock or Sinister? Do you have to I don't know what that means. It was a nice way to illustrate how easy it is to convince people who don't know what they're doing that something is right when it's so obviously wrong. And we're not talking sans. Sans means make her go away. Sans means make her go away. So using that definition, remove. Do you have to remove Emma if trying to clone Kestrel? No. Why would you have to remove Emma? No, it's fine. You just have to bring Hela in. Yeah, like you could say, like sans serif is a font that doesn't have a curl EQ. That's what sans means. It means without. I've just never seen someone say, do you have to sans Emma instead of saying remove or kill? Just a weird, took me by surprise. You can remove, yeah, you have to remove Kestrel's charge with Hela. So the cool thing about removing Kestrel's charge, if you didn't know, let's see if we could find an arena fight. I'm usually 70 around now. Ooh, someone's been fighting me. I don't like that at all. There we go. So this is gonna be fun. Alivened. No, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm just like, that's interesting. Interesting way of saying it. Is Phoenix still top 10 after Kestrel? Nah, not really. Phoenix, Kestrel had no impact on Phoenix. Kestrel was like the nail in the coffin of a die, which is actually interesting. There are more people currently using Phoenix in the arena meta, at like endgame arena metas, than there are people using Black Order because she didn't make that impact. So, notice the difference, guys? Spot it. Spot the difference. I have Greg. They don't have Greg. It's because I'm on the left side and they're on the right side. And now Greg died, which is going to proc Kestrel's remove. Oh no, my Hela died. So I'm taking advantage of that. I had a Greg, they didn't. We both had Kestrel. Run it through. You'll see. You'll see it. You'll get there. Yeah, you can't... Like, you can't use Hela on defense anymore. She's too easy to control. So, my defense... I might have to make the change here, though. To be fair, Yo-Yo ain't doing shit for me. So let's use Minerva. How long did it take me to get Zemo? A month? Maybe? Month and a week? You just farm him every day. Or as soon as he was available. Nope. No, it's more just like I have a Greg. They do not have a Greg. Hela on defense has been used for a while. A lot of people tend to be using her with Zemo because they live in the magic world where Zemo will target a character with his ability, and then Hela will live long enough to get a turn and then smartly choose that target. That's offensively absolutely fucking debilitating. Defensively a little bit less, but at least you get to remove buffs from characters with Zemo passively, and he creates a little bit of a fun situation. Yeah, Hela's real bad right now. Earlier in the game, there's no symbiotes, so it's less of an impact, really. But now with Kestrel's existence, you literally cannot put Hela on defense. You can, You just are guaranteed to lose to anybody who has a Kestrel. Arena defense is still holding top 20. Which arena defense? We have a new arena defense, by the way. Oh, we also have the new meta arena offense. Who wants it? Who wants the top secret meta arena offense? To my knowledge, from what I've heard, from the people who've been doing this with me, and like testing it out, this team beats everything. Literally, this team beats everything. The team is from left to right, and it is relevant, right? Even if you have Doom, like, this is still the team. It is Hela, because of what's happening. Hela, Surfer, Sinister, Kestrel, Emma. That is the arena offense that beats everything in the game. Because of the current bug with Hela, that team will literally beat every comp at any power, well, reasonably, right? Like, assuming that your characters are all gear tier 14, their characters are all gear tier 14. Doesn't matter if you're stars or red star, like, you'll have the juice. And the reason that comp beats everything is because Sinister gets to clone Doom. And the Doom gets to start and take his ult and return up. So it beats Doom by cloning Doom and using your Doom before their Dooms. Doom to Doom, Doom, Doom. Doom, 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 Doom. Doom, 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 Doom. Doom stroke. And then it beats everything else because it just has the best characters in the game that you can ability block through everything. This is what we've heard. What's up, did you? Hela, Doom, Surfer, and Azumo. Yeah, the order seems a little bit off, but like, if you have Doom, use Doom, right? What about defense? No such thing as defense. It is Hela, Surfer. I'm looking at the pictures. Hela, Surfer, Sinister, Kestrel, Emma can beat any comp. Was a team that was holding top. The team requires Doom. It required Doom. Now it's easier to beat because, not because of Surfer, because of Kestrel. But it was still utilizing Doc Ock, which we are no longer utilizing. I mean, you still can, like, it'll still hold, but it was a Doom Doc Ock comp. Now with Kestrel, it becomes a little bit harder. I love you, Bets. Hey, no, listen, man. If you're using another team that works, like, that's great. Like, I'm not trying to stop what you're doing. I'm just saying I can confirm in all seriousness, this is multiple people utilizing this specific comp, and they've just been like, yeah, I'll beat this team. Not so much on auto, but the best reward I've heard from people is, it's all because of whether or Kestrel's an idiot and ults on her first turn. You tend to get a little bit more value out of Kestrel if you special on turn 1 and then use her ultimate to assassinate a Doom before he goes. Yeah. Yeah. But that's it. But maybe they'll fix the arena issue where Hela gets a Greg and yours and you wouldn't, you know. The order has to do with what happens when a specific character is targeted. So, like, it's very unlikely Surfer will die, but even if Surfer dies, you should be reasonable. Fortifier Doom. Yeah. That's the best offense. But again, there's plenty of other options for offense. Pickups. Boop. Sometimes I change my offense team to see what other crazy comps will auto-win. Yeah, go ahead. We did a blog talk earlier, so yeah, I'm in. Can I do this? Controllers and protectors. Let's take 2 incredibly weaker characters and try to use them. Well, you don't need Zemo because Surfer does what Zemo does. But if the opposing character has Zemo, the only character that you have to worry about him hitting is, in fact, Surfer. And even then, you just then get to ability block the Zemo back, and you're fine. Or the Doom, or whomever you want. Costume collection using bits like the ones featured, so be sure to wreck them up. Are you aware if we need unlock costumes? To my knowledge, there is no need in the game for a costume to unlock anybody. But don't worry, because if they ever make what I just said untrue and you will need a legendary, I will personally whoop them in the face. Playlist link? It is, yes, I can give you a link to the playlist. He didn't get the ability block? Ugh. Booty sweat. Garbage booty sweat. Cheers, mate. Ugh, you're getting shot. Oh, I'm buying that Fury. You're out of your damn mind, sir. I want Pirate Fury. New top best placement for that setup? What do you mean? What setup? Which one are we talking? We talking about 8 teams. Like, we've been talking about an infinite supply of teams. I think Doc Ock's losing value. Because if you use Doc Ock, you are forced into certain situations that other people can't. Yeah, I definitely want that Fury. Do you not know me? Fury's got gold shoulder pads. I want anything in the game that is unique. Anyone who's ever played Hearthstone or played with me in Hearthstone knows that all I care about are card backs. If there's a card back that exists that I don't have or can't get, I become, like, inconsolably angry. Why won't you die? Pyro. No, nothing in the world pissed me off more than Pyro, my 7 red, 7-star Pyro, being 77,776 power. That, the chase for TCG foils? You're right. Hold on. Don't miss Zemo. Yay! Kazaa! Why won't you die? Yay! I actually put in weaker characters in order to 3-star that event. Crazy, right? Yeah, I had tried many times with Hulk and Cap, and they just suck. So mad. So mad, guys. Oh, someone asked about the Thor costume before. I apologize if you're still here. I am constantly stupid. I'm sorry. Here. This is the Thor costume. All right, so let's check again. Again, Blitz Store is orbs or bust. Raid Store is specifically Zemo. Whatever character is missing 5 shards from ranking up. So, like, if I went to Killmonger and he was 75 of 80, I'd be like, cool. But mostly just gear. The Arena Store is Blob and Heimdall, specifically Blob. But, I will occasionally be buying Heimdall up because I'm gonna be level 70. I'll probably have a Heimdall to level, like, to 4 or 5 star, somewhere in that range. Around the time I get to level 70, it's just not that hard to get him. The whole thing is I'm not gonna have a Hela, so like who gives a shit, you know? Then I have to worry about Crystal. I just want to get Blob out of the way. For Magneto. Ghost. Buying Ghost on cooldown. Cable can go to hell. Sif is a rough one, man. I know I have to start buying Sif, but I don't have to do it now. In general, I'm saving these resources for orange gear. I'll buy a Sif. I have enough. I'm saving these resources for orange gear specifically, but occasionally I will go ahead and notice that, like, hey, all these characters need stuff, and I'll buy one of those on occasion. These credits, I will buy any useful character up to about 3. I don't have White Tiger, and Ant-Man is not useful, so I'm not worrying about them. Once we get to 4-star and higher, we're not bothering. Basic T1s, I just open on cooldown. If I have less than 10 of any one of these, I will buy them in the store. After that, I just don't care. Every single day, guys, for those who aren't aware, because of how little I fucking respect cores in this game, I open one of these. Mathematically speaking, it should take about 2 months or 60 days, 58 days, 58 days for me to accrue enough to buy Elektra. This is how little cores mean to me. That I'm able to spend them on bullshit, and it's still more beneficial to me than like premium orb. If premium orbs were 300, we'd already be buying them. I would already be buying them. I don't think we. But fuck. So that's my farming regimen every day. I just kind of make sure I get through all of this stuff, or the best I can. Aren't using them for Kestrel campaign energy. That's the other thing I'm using them for. But I have 1900. They're going, like, I'm, let's see. Let me show you the math on this. Well, this is done. I spend 900 a day energy. We get about 500 something a day. No. Yeah. So, the next energy pop is gonna get me to here, before reset. Or, no, actually it's gonna be there, so I might actually have to spend a little bit more on this one, because I kind of missed the last one. It's weird with the timing. But, just to show off this, I have... We need 16.5. I have 6.815. No. I need to get this many more over... How many more days is the event? I just tried that comp. Didn't work against Doom, Emma, Kestrel, SS, and Zemo. Crazy. Crazy. Hope you didn't target Doom first. Yeah. So... The new arena defense meta going around right now is Zemo, Surfer, Kestrel, Emma, and Doom. This team beats it on cooldown. First comment. I'm not going to mention whose name it is. but it's somebody. Interesting. What do you do? As long as you can control Doom long enough to clone a Doom, you should be fine. Excellent. What about Emma? She actually will die sooner than anyone else because of the ability block spread. That times well. Okay. No. That's the disrespect basic. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Even when I unlock Sinister, who should be really soon. Yeah. Disrespect. Yeah, Sinister is like he has been going like Emma was #1 for a really long time. Yeah, of course. We'll get another Doom's influence. Sinister is I'm sorry. Emma has been so good for so long that like it's just like sometimes a character comes out and you're like that character is clearly better. Emma has changed the game in the same way that Sinister did, but like way more meaningfully. So like to give up the #1 slot, the character has to be like not just stronger than Emma, like has to change the way the game is played in such a huge and meaningful way that nobody can really compete with it. Surfer has. The battle of the game now has become whose Surfer is stronger. Even in lieu of anything else, it's still whose Surfer is stronger. So Surfer did create that situation. Not like Kestrel. This is not like Surfer, Emma, Sinister. They are beyond, like, categorically insane characters. Kestrel is really good. They do not. No, that's not even in the same, like. But Kestrel gives you a lot of options, and she helps with Doom raids. Kestrel is more problematic because everyone has her. Kestrel shits on Sinister so bad. Here it is, guys. We were waiting for it. I'm not arguing that Kestrel was a good character to fight against Sinister. No one is arguing that. But if you think Kestrel's a better character than Sinister, it says more about you than Sinister. You know? What else do we have? One day you'll have your friend. One day. Where are you? What else is there? We're no longer doing recaps on anything other than months, so we're not going to go back and check the other event. You can clone a Kestrel. Well, a lot of it is like if you don't have a Kestrel, you can do certain things. If you don't have a Sinister, you're in a way worse spot. Like, way worse. Way worse spot. You have a Kestrel, great. So does everybody else at this point in the game. The only difference is you put more into it or less into it or whatever, right? So it doesn't matter. Everyone has the same fucking pool. You can't clone. LOL. Really? Why can't I clone? Why can't I clone a Kestrel that I have many videos of me cloning a Kestrel that I didn't bring in so I could prevent my opponent's Sinister from cloning? Why can't I clone a Kestrel? They did. I can think of 5 ways to clone a Kestrel. One of which is have Silver Surfer, which is why Silver Surfer's a better character than Kestrel. The second thing I could think about is proc her thing before Sinister takes a turn, which is incredibly easy. You can do it with Hela, Dr. Octopus, 5 other people. That's an easy one. So yeah, no, you absolutely can clone with Sinister. The reason why people foolishly think that's untrue is because they don't know that. So yes, by all means, please keep putting Kestrel on defense. Step out of line. Yeah. There are a ton of answers to what she does. So much so that you can actually just ignore her. And not even like, I have to bring in a bad character. You can bring in a character to answer Kestrel that you were already bringing in. Kestrel is good. Yeah, well. I don't even know. You can get him there. Cole is in Ultimus Orbs, Mega Orbs, Premium Orbs, and what's it called? Orbs. You can't clone because she one-shots everybody. Ooh. Kestrel one-shots everybody. Everybody, guys. Kestrel does 580,000 damage on her attack. Yeah, she definitely has hit my 390,000 health Sinister. 4 lethal. Everyone! You know what's great about being Tony? The fact that 3 months from now, when everyone... Kestrel is bugged. Kestrel is bugged. That is true. Kestrel is very bugged. Kestrel has not had charge and prevented things too. So she's bugged. So like anything that's do you remember when Black Widow accidentally removed buffs on counterattacks when she wasn't in stealth? And that was the reason why everybody had Striker on her? And it was like, well guys, that's a bug. It's not the reason you should do it. And then they fixed it. And now that doesn't happen. If she assists or counterattacks, right? If she assists or counterattacks, if she doesn't have stealth, she won't steal buffs anymore. They fixed it. Which, by definition, means that there was a mistake that people were using. You open with her special and somebody dies. The other two has defense down and will die in the next 2 turns. What I think is the most fun is... I think you think you're teaching me. And that's my favorite. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of bugs around Kestrel. They're not going to fix any of them because it doesn't help the player. No, I don't know. No, Zeta's been around for a while. I just think he thinks Kestrel's better than he is. My Kestrel's only like 108k though, so like I don't know. I'm sure there's 190k Kestrel somewhere. No, Kestrel does a good amount of damage. Well, if you want to watch how to play Kestrel poorly, just go to Mobile Gamer. You'll watch a Kestrel ult a Sinister, not a Sinister, a Surfer at 80% and then get a crit on an assist that one-shots her and then claim that it was a one-shot. What characters are you thinking about taking to DD3? We are so far away for DD3 that I don't know. I don't think about stuff that's months for down the road because the game, like, 2 months ago, if you asked me what character was I bringing into Dark Dimension 2, I would never have said Surfer. Why would I have ever said Surfer? He wasn't in the game. Now, you better fucking believe Surfer's on that list. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know what DD3 is gonna look like, because that is further away from me right now than the meta might. Zemo, Surfer, Kestrel, Emma, Doom. That is the specific comp that this team beats. I have video footage of it too. Yeah, this is the specific team. Okay, don't use that team then. By the time this account's ready, there will be 25 new characters. What level do you need to be? Level 70. So like level 70 is a month or so away, so I can look at what it's gonna take to get into Dark Dimension 2 from that perspective. You know, like a month or so, with spending a little bit less probably. But like Dark Dimension 3 is not a month away. It's not 2 months away. Dark Dimension 3 is level 75 and gear tier 14 away. That is at least 3 to 4 months away from Dark Dimension 2, let alone Dark Dimension, you know, like right now. So... Level 65, 2-star, Silver Surfer helped my 390 and humans beat a 200 words passive enough. Yeah, Surfer's insane, dude. Surfer's insane. Surfer's easily one of the craziest characters in the game. Like, so insane how strong he is. Against higher levels, she does way better. Okay, Zeta, I'm happy that you enjoy Kestrel. Anyway, that's it for the stream. Over the next week, the hopes I have are not much. It's really just powering through levels. Maybe an offer will come out. Maybe an offer will come out that's worth buying. It's not incredibly likely. Not if this was like $4, maybe. Paid mobile. All right, Joshy, on it. There's no reason to be spending any of my money on 50 character shards of a random character. That's not gonna help anybody. Inhuman orb, joke. This actually, for the price, this isn't unreasonable, but like, we're getting real close to the point when these characters are getting upended, so. The only offer that really even stands out right now is right here. And the only reason I'm not buying it is because I feel like in the next couple of days, this offer's available like every other week, basically. So there tends to be a good time to buy this offer. It's usually when there's a double drop or something big coming. And that's when I'll pay a little bit more attention to it. But right now, 3,000 energy isn't going to do much for me today. Buy Silver Surfer to 4-star. Why? Yeah, so none of these are worth anything, really. This one is actually the closest to a good offer. Get a load of this, by the way. This offer used to just be these. Now they're adding, like, legacy orbs and training fragments and gear credits. Why? Why are they adding garbage orb 1, garbage orb 2, and dog shit credits 3? Because the people who are buying red star orbs are no longer the same. Because they need red star orbs to be... I still have them on my main account. I still get surfer offers all the time. I don't need to buy any more of them. 5/5 surfer does everything. At least does everything I need him for. Here is the issue. No one's buying these anymore, so they're trying to make this offer appeal more, like, valuable to lower players. Like, hey, for $50, you'll get 14 Red Star orbs, and Legacy 1 orbs, and Training Orb fragments. Not necessarily understanding that Legacy 1 orbs are not better than Premium orbs. Or anything else. So they're trying to incentivize newer players to buy this orb offer by giving them quite literally the worst possible stuff they can afford to part with. Here, look at some gear credits. It's pretty actually dog shit. If they instead gave, like, if these were premium orbs, this was some mega orbs, and this was war credits, then this offer would be worthwhile. But we can't do that, guys. It's unfair. Keep in mind, I could spend money and get all of those things I just said whenever I want. So it's not to keep the game fair and balanced. It's literally to get the most possible money. And Trevor actually said it the best. They don't want to earn your money. They want to have your money. So they don't want to earn your money. They don't want to give you offers or value. They want you to just spend it. And this is as close to a good offer as they're going to give you. I actually think this one's a little bit better value for the money, but that's just, you know. Is what it is. Yep, none of these are good. Anyway, so this is the second week so far of all play. Where is it? Right here. Second time that I've gone and spent nothing, basically. I think one of these is wrong. I think this was over here. No, it was over here. This is the second time 7 days had passed. And I didn't buy anything so far. So there is absolutely nothing here. Because you need to get, when you have a limited amount of money, you have to spend it wisely. I would like for an offer to come up that's worth, what do I have, $23? I'd like for a really good $19.99 offer to come up. It's not going to happen. It just isn't going to be one. Maybe if I get lucky, there'll be a decent $5.99 or $9.99 offer for a character. What did you spend $24.99? Kestrel. Absolutely. Bought that Kestrel immediately. If you have $24, if you have $25 and the opportunity to buy Kestrel, especially if you're a newer player, you would be silly. Like, let me put it into, I'll try to put things into a little bit of perspective, just for the sake of the conversation. Kestrel's power is rivals the power of, like, Emma. You know, rivals the power of Silver Surfer, rivals the power of some legendaries like Black Bolt. So if you have the opportunity, think about it like this. If you could buy Black Bolt today, right now, wherever you are, if you could buy a Black Bolt for $24.99, would you? The answer is yes. It is $60. What did I say? $23? You're right. I have $33 in the budget. Holy shit. I have so much more money. I'm gonna start spending it. I'm kidding. Are they done throwing $29.99 offers? Yes, they haven't hit another $24.99 offer in a while. If they did, the offers that are up on my list of things to care about are not Black Order, sorry. Brotherhood. I would buy the Brotherhood offer if it showed up again, and I would buy an Asgardian offer just to accelerate it. So we got nothing. Yeah, there just isn't anything. Honest to God, I've been acting this entire month like I didn't have that much. Now that I do have that much, I wouldn't be opposed to buying another Surfer offer. The problem is the Surfer offer won't do anything. Like, it won't give me... It won't give me, what's it called? Oh, yeah, I was doing calculations before. Sorry. $8 days. Oh no. Once you get the next star promotion? What do you mean? Sorry, my calculation was off. $20 to rank up. Yeah, if it was $20 to rank him up, I would take it. If I got a 4-star Surfer from it, I would take it. Sorry, needed that. My calculation required me to have that exact purchase to be able to get the Nick Fury costume. For the character I have no intention of unlocking, and that's just something I want to do. Won't get you that next star. No, my Surfer's right here. Yeah, I would need, what raid milestone am I reaching in this alliance? Fuck, none. 0. I don't even know if we do raids. Sometimes we'll get, like, around here-ish. We're only doing 1 raid a day on this alliance. It's unrealistic for a player of my TCP to be in an alliance that would be doing much better than this, than where we are. And I'm choosing not to be particularly carried. Like, I do 2 to 3 nodes in whatever we do. Like, this is an Ultimus U7.5. I think I'm Strike Team 2 still. Yeah, so as long as I can contribute 2 to 3 nodes in whatever I do, I don't consider myself, like as long as I'm contributing as much as anyone else is to the content, like, then we're fine. You know? And as somebody with just under 500,000 TCP, the ability to just be able to do something is still more meaningful than doing some of the lesser actions. Hold on, let me just one-shot these 2 characters with Kestrel. What? Impossible. If you had a Kestrel one-shot your entire team, what that means is you had an incredibly weak team, or they had a way incredibly strong Kestrel. There's no balance. Do you know when we would be able? Yeah. Do I know when there would be another? Yeah, should be around next month is when they'll put her in orbs. Kestrel's damn good in raids, too. Yeah, she is. I'm sorry, are you confused by the difference between me saying Kestrel is a great character, or are you, generally speaking, upset that I don't suck her giant fucking clit as hard as everyone else is? Wait, that's just generally speaking the question I always wonder when it comes to Kestrel. Like, I'm like, I like Kestrel. Think she's great. I love using her. Happy to buy her. Happy to invest in her. But, like... Boop. She's a multi-mode tune. Yeah. She's, I told you. I think she's a top 10 character. She is a top 10 character. She is now... Yeah, I didn't mean to do anything by you. You know I love you, Trev. No. But some people do. I'll say something like, yeah, Kestrel's like a top 10 tune. Like, she's like number 10. 10 best tune. And they're like, no, she's the best. I'm like... She's really good. I think a lot of it ties into that general... Oh, I don't need to do this anymore. That general, like, I like something, therefore anyone who doesn't like something I like doesn't like me because I'm... Not you, but people tend to tie their own personal sense of worth into an idea. Like, I like a movie. You know what you see it with all the time? This is the closing thoughts on this. Closing thoughts. You see it all the damn time with people who defend DC movies. All the time. Someone will be like, guys, no. You don't understand. The fucking Man of Steel was amazing. Be like, no, Man of Steel was like okay, like really okay, and I'm a huge Superman fan. Like, you just didn't get it. Like, no, I got it. It's not that deep. Superman snapped a dude's neck and then didn't save his dad. Yeah, but they were going for a different story. Oh no, I understand what they were doing. I have 2 eyes and the ability to think. I just didn't appreciate it. The Snyder Cut is the best thing to happen to movies. Yeah, no, it was a really awesome way to spend 4 hours of my life I'll never get back. Watching a movie that I previously didn't like that made it suck significantly less. I actually really like Suicide Squad. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, dude. Dark Knight movies? There was one good Dark Knight movie. One. There was one good Dark Knight series. One of them. You know what I mean? Again, you don't defend it, right? It's not a defense. You enjoy the movie. Enjoy what you want to enjoy, man. Just because you enjoy something doesn't mean other people have to. And just because you enjoy something that is objectively fucking dog shit doesn't make you dog shit. I enjoy dumb shit all the time. I enjoy Marvel Strike Force. Marvel Strike Force sucks. Well, the company that makes Marvel Strike Force sucks, so by extension, the game actually has some problems. But like, no, in general, like, I don't think the game sucks. But like, the company that makes it sucks. So what, is it like, I'm not allowed to like playing this game and like streaming this game because I think the company who makes it sucks? That's stupid. If you had to like Scopely to play this fucking game, they'd have 14 people playing. And all of them like Longshot. Yeah, like, that's the mentality that people, that is like super toxic and people don't get. Like, dude, you could like something and other people cannot like it and your day is still fine. If you told me, dead ass, if you told me you thought Captain America Winter Soldier was the worst Marvel movie, I'd be like, why? Why? Why would you think that? Because I'm interested. And then if you're like, it was boring and I was asleep, I wouldn't be like, well, you're an idiot. I'd be like, all right, cool, man. Like, you not liking it ain't gonna make me fucking love it less. You know what I mean? You not liking something isn't gonna make me love it. And hopefully, me telling you an objective truth isn't gonna make you regret something. Kestrel's a great character. I use the fuck out of her in a lot of different game modes. She ain't Surfer. She ain't Surfer. Like, she is not Surfer. You know, like that no. The Hulk 2008 movie is my favorite movie. Cool, man. Yeah. Don't tie your own self-worth into something you enjoy. You are not the things you enjoy. You are the experiences that make you. Thor the worst is the worst MCU film. I agree, it is pretty fucking bad. Silver Surfer isn't a 3 red star Ultron either. The 3 red star on Ultron is terrible. Speaking of Kestrel, turn 1 special is the tempo setter, right? I have found, in my experience, that Kestrel with Raider and turn 1 special tends to be a more meaningful attack than anything else you can do. Mostly because when you get to do that, 1, you're hitting 6 total times, which means if you have Raider, you, especially if you're at 30% to crit, that's about 2 crits. The price of 3 red stars? No, everything around 3 red Ultron is awful. Like, he doesn't, the cost to get 3 red stars versus the impact 3 red stars have. Raider over Striker for Kestrel? I don't think there's a correct choice. I think Striker is a great option for Kestrel. I use Raider on Kestrel because I ran the numbers and it appears to me as Raider on Kestrel will do more damage. Just so you guys know, just so you know, her pew, that also fucking crits. So when someone's like, I used her pupe and I hit for like 120k, I'm like, that's adorable, because my Kestrel's pupe into defense down is critting for 300 fucking k. Assuming she has offense up. You know what I mean? Like, like it's 280. Also, to be fair, I'm not quite 300, but 280. So, like, the numbers are there, but the extra 40% damage on crit at Raider 5, for me, is a little bit... It's less about the consistency. Yeah, exactly, Charles. Exactly. Yeah, oh, yeah. Her ultimate, when it crits, it Shadow Realms someone. She's 105k, my Kestrel. When I use her ultimate, they're just banished to the Shadow Realm. They're never to be seen again. With the exception of Thanos, Doom, and like a 150k Surfer. What team do you tend to run her on? Oh, I run her on the crit X Factor. So it's everybody on X Factor except Multiple Man has Raider. And then with her special on turn 1, I tend to bank about 1 extra turn on both Longshot and Shatterstar. So they basically just never stop taking turns, and that usually wipes out the entire board. So that's the team I tend to use them on. Does Raider become clear? Yeah, Raider, if you're using Kestrel on X Factor and you're not using Raider on her, then you don't know what you're doing. Like, you don't know what you're doing. Like, you don't understand why she's working on that team. How much crit do you gain? It's less about the crit and more about what the crits do. Wink. SSF Carnage, Anti-Venom, Kestrel, and Surfer. That team sounds great, too. That team also sounds great. On that team, you could put anything you like on Kestrel, because you're not taking advantage of crits at all. So, and everyone's already going to be debuffed, so it really doesn't make a difference. You do whatever you want. You think 5 red Ultron or 4 will be overpowered? No, I don't think so. I don't think that 7 red star Ultron would be overpowered. I think the problem is a 5 red Ultron would be more impactful than Dr. Doom currently is, because of the fact that Doom bots actually suck, but Ultron's Ultron bots are amazing characters in their own right. So I think that they're specifically slow rolling Ultron red stars so that players don't feel like they don't have to worry about getting a Doom, because by the time that they do release the rest of the red stars for Ultron, you're gonna be like, this is insane. Does Kestrel special allow you to use Shatterstar ult first, or does it matter? You should use Shatterstar's ult first, right? His ult is the one that, his ult isn't the energy battery, right? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Phoenix is becoming back on meta because it's so easy to answer Kestrel, both with and without a Kestrel, that, like, people tend to get greedy. The biggest thing people forget about Surfer is that Surfer can only remove a charge if he can target the character. Special gives D down. Yeah, you should never... Wait, were people using Shatterstar special on turn 1? You were never supposed to use Shatterstar special on turn 1. Am I... Hold on. Maybe I'm confusing. Maybe my words are wrong. Yeah, no, you were supposed to do this on turn 1 every time. This is what you're supposed to do, even with the defense downs. Because you want to... You've been using his special? This is what you're supposed to use on turn 1. This is what you're supposed to use on turn 2. The reason you're supposed to use this on turn 2 is because you're supposed to double special with long shot to win the fight. That fight wins with a double long shot special. No, I've not been using his special. I've been using her special. I have not been using his special. I know that. Maybe I tested it once, but like, no, it's, you always use his ult because you want to give the energy to Longshot after he specials if you're in control, so you can use his special back to back. And since he has crit rating, he has the highest chance of proccing a full turn meter. That's why you can bank so many turns of crit with the Dad Bros. Let alone the fact that Polaris herself also hits everybody all the time and crits a decent amount of them. And removes deflects so that crits happen more often. The only character on that entire team that's useless is Multiple Man. Like, he's the only one that's like, and Multiple Man's here to fuck with you. Yeah. No, Raider on Kestrel, you lead with her special, but you don't have to hit the weakest characters. You hit the strongest characters, because then you're going to get bonus damage on them, and the crits are going to hit them harder. At least that's what I do when I RTA with them. I'll do some more RTA later. Anyway, thanks guys so much for watching. I went a little bit over, about a half hour. Hopefully you enjoyed the extra stuff. I'm going to be going live in about an hour on Twitch to do some Dragon Champions and some more Marvel Strike Force on my main account. So I want you guys to have a good night. Have a great day. Be safe out there. Enjoy your weekend. If you have any stuff you want to do, do it. Just be safe, all right, guys?